tough to come back from, and you're going to deal with some pain trying to play with it. And yeah, you could see, you could tell that he was not 100%. He was favoring that ankle a little bit. And he was still able to be a little bit explosive, score in the mid to high 20 points per game. Unfortunately, his team needed more. So I expect him to really take care of his body this year. I think they all need to get healthy. That's the most important thing, especially AD. He's going to have to start, finding that fountain of youth, because he's at that part in his career where, he's playing so well, but now he has to get used to the load and managing that load and really preparing your body for that 82-game schedule plus the playoffs. So we'll see how they respond.
All right, Chris, we all like to play on prime time. Football players, we want to play in front of Joe Buck. We want to play in front of Troy. We want them calling our games. You guys, TNT, big-time, prime-time game for you guys, Shaquille O'Neal and the boys being able to cover the games. LeBron James, that's easy for us, right, to get up for prime-time games. He's going into year 19? What does he have left to prove? Do you believe he still have that that desire to still compete every single day in practice, in the weight room, at the table, pushing away the chocolate and all the bad stuff from a nutritional standpoint? Does he still have that desire?
I think he does. And look, it would have been a different conversation if they were still competing right now. When you're in a position where you have to hear everyone saying that you've never lost in the first round and then you lost in the first round. Look, LeBron is a competitor. He doesn't like to, he does not like to lose. It's not fun. It's not a fun environment if you're losing. And so if he didn't have any fire under him, well, I think now he does. And you were saying it, Brandon, pushing yourself in the weight room. I write about that in my book. You have to take care of your body. He's built that up to a habit, and it's a great habit to have. Now it's just adding the extra fuel behind those workouts, behind getting your work done on the court and making sure you're being a great teammate. He's going to have to find that thing. And I think he's found it. And you know what? Let's be frank. He needs some rest. It's nothing wrong with rest. I got plenty of rest when I was in the beginning of my years when we weren't making the playoffs in Toronto, right. And it did my body great. So
that's interesting.
I think they'll be in a position where they can really get something going and most importantly, get healthy.
Chris, how long do you think LeBron can be the king or be sort of like an elite level player? Because one of the silver linings I thought of this Sun series, and oddly this high ankle sprain, was we got to see what LeBron looks like when he wasn't finishing at the rim, when he wasn't going to the hole and drawing fouls, when he's distributing and is out on the three-point line. And I thought, although it wasn't successful right now, I did think it was a little preview of that we could see LeBron at 40. Do you think he could play to 40 and have a Tom Brady-esque type career?
I think he can, if he wants to. Now, as far as playing at a high level, the number one option, that'd be pretty tough because that's so demanding night in and night out. But as he gets older, he can definitely be one of those guys, to give you sparks from time to time. He's always going to be able to be a distributor, and he's going to be able to get, 25, 26 points rolling out of bed. It's that next level. It's the 30 to 35 a night. That might be a challenge. Not to say that he can't do it, but it won't be as consistent as before because, Father Time is undefeated, right? So look for them to add. That's why I say look for the Lakers to add pieces, because if they can get someone else to kind of lighten the scoring load and the distribution, he'll be able to sustain his level of play for a little bit longer. But, at a very high level, the way he's capable of playing, 2 years, maybe at least one more year. I think that'll be an exciting thing because he's really getting into uncharted territory. I mean, MJ was at the top of his game at 36. LeBron is 36 now. I'm sure he's trying to break new ground as an athlete and as a competitor. So I definitely look for him to have a stellar season next year. because of the perfect mix of rest, motivation from losing, and just wanting to get back out there and prove that he could still play at a high level in this league.
Yeah, and I'll have a longer offseason to rest up and do that. Hey, Chris, you got a new book out. It looks awesome, by the way. It's called Letters to a Young Athlete. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so, just in a nutshell, this is me reverse engineering the things that helped me be successful, not only through my career in the NBA, but just, lessons that I learned from coaches and teammates in middle school, high school, college. I wanted to write something in a letter form to not only the young athletes, but really anyone aspiring to be great. These are the things that I remember that truly helped me out. So I want to bring those gems for people, to read, aspiring to do something great in their lives. It's not easy. Things can be challenging. And this is kind of like a guidebook. And I want people to take these words and use them for themselves. I think this can greatly help out people looking for any sort of edge. I mean, I got so much information that helped me from books that I read throughout my career. This is the book that I never read. Yep. So I want athletes and CEOs and chefs and doctors and lawyers and accountants, commentators. I want everyone to be able to take something for themselves from this book.
Yeah, we'll make sure that Nick gets a copy of Letters to a Young Athlete. Look, I put this in the category of all Dan Millman's book, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, Relentless Tim Grover. You have Body Mind Mastery by Dan Millman. So I put that in that category, in that universe. I want to reference AD and try to draw some comparisons here, because in your book you talk about adversity, you talk about taking care of your body. Those are two things that I've been harping on all year. Adversity. He's dealing with, I think, probably the most adversity he's ever had in his career, going back to AAU basketball, going back to high school basketball. Injuries. We saw what his injuries did to this team. This team should still be competing. LeBron should be going for his 5th ring. So what can AD draw from your book to actually get him through this tough time that he's going through now?
I write, one of my chapters is about taking care of yourself. And another chapter is called Don't Get Too High, Don't Get Too Low, and handling criticism. Don't let him get to you. He plays for the Lakers. There's a certain responsibility that comes and a certain criticism that comes with playing for the Lakers. If you're not winning championships, they don't want to hear it, So he's in that sort of environment. Okay, we know that. And I think, this is going to be, like I said before, he's going to have to learn as you go throughout your career. He's going to have to learn and seek the new knowledge of taking care of your body. Not to say that he didn't before, but there's obviously another level that he's going to have to go to, because these strains and having calves and growing injuries, that's not going to help them be successful in their quest for a championship. So he's going to have to work on that durability. He's going to have to find those ways to get new treatments, to be able to strengthen his body, to be able to take the beating. Because, he pretty much is their number one scoring option. When he's playing well, when nobody can guard him, they're pretty much unbeatable. He's going to have to really concentrate for next year to be able to handle that load, handle the criticism, but most importantly, don't get too high, don't get too low. Like I said before, if he stays even, if he recognizes the work that he has to put in, but more so recognize where he's at, be truthful about that with himself, and know that it's all about getting better. He has to get better. And if they come back focused next year,